Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that the future of the Star Wars universe seems to be quite expansive, not just with their new books, novels, comics, and video games, but also, let's not forget about the new Star Wars TV shows, the new Star Wars movies that are currently in the works by Disney and Lucasfilm, and a lot of other things on the horizon by Favreau, Filoni, Lucas, and others out there as well. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, it is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the new universe between Jon and Dave is that what they are doing is that they are cherry picking some of the best moments from the Dark Empire books, the Thrawn trilogy, the, of course, Shadows of the Empire partition of Legends, and throwing that into shows like Ahsoka, Mandalorian, and a whole lot of other shows on the horizon as well. We've already talked about how the Bo-Katan series is moving ahead, aka Star Wars Mandalore, which is going to be a very big show announcement by next year, so keep your eyes open for that. But what's even all the more exciting has a lot to do with what Favreau is doing for one of the upcoming Star Wars TV shows, and how it's going to involve a very special character that fans have loved and enjoyed over the years. Now, with that being said, one thing related to all of this, alright, is that thankfully, Disney CEO Bob Chapek has been giving Jon and Dave a lot of, power, pretty much creatively and financially, over most of the Star Wars TV shows, except for the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew, so just keep that in mind there. However, of course, when it comes to what's been going on with Jon and Dave about a particular character, this is where things begin to really progress. Now, with Disney and Lucasfilm now preparing to begin work on the new Star Wars TV shows for the fans around the world, both Jon and Dave are also getting ready to make some big announcements for the fandom. Now, it's noted, however, that both Jon and Dave are actively involved in a very important project that is about to recast one of the big characters in the Star Wars franchise. Now, it's described that for The Mandalorian Season 4, Favreau is set to completely recast the character of Emperor Palpatine as a huge part of the plot that will involve the character of course, Emperor Palpatine and Luke Skywalker. What Favreau is currently planning and has already storyboarded is set to involve actor Bill Skarsgård to replace Ian McDiarmid as Palpatine. Now, originally they wanted somehow to de-age Ian to play a 30-year-old Palpatine, but the technology is not 100% yet to de-age somebody that drastically with many close-up shots. Now, this is when Favreau decided to recast and get Bill to play the role of a young Sidious clone that is set to be a big part of The Mandalorian Season 4. So let me just pause here quick for a second. For those of you that are unaware, the clones of Palpatine first appeared in the Dark Empire comic line. And in that comic line is where we all got to learn more about Palpatine's secrets, right? His knowledge about the dark side, his knowledge about the Skywalkers, and everything in between. Now here, what Favreau is doing is that he is taking Dark Empire elements, he's storyboarding already away for this particular moment in Mando 4 that's going to involve a young Palpatine for the first time on the big screen, already retconning a big part of the sequel trilogy, because in the sequels, it was made canon that the Snoke clones were abominations of Palpatine trying to clone himself, and that he was never successful at creating a healthy young clone. However, here in Mandalorian 4, they're going to make a canon that Palpatine did achieve the goal of at least making one young clone. Now, in Dark Empire, there were several. He had a lot of backups, so they're kind of making things a little bit different here. In this case, it's just going to be one, and they're going to make it a very young version of Palpatine, a 30-year-old one to be exact. Now, pushing forward from all of this, what really does strike me the most is how they are set out to use a brand new type of technology. This is where ILM becomes, a big part of the whole sequence involving both Sidious and Luke Skywalker, alright? So let's get into it. Now, this is Favreau's way of essentially making Dark Empire canon from the Star Wars Legends comics, and is planning to have both young Luke and Sidious face off in a lightsaber duel. Now, the newest development about all of this is that ILM will be using new technology that Bill will use that will give him a similar voice to Palpatine done by Ian in real time. Favreau wants to make sure that he will get this right for the fans, and that it will be something flawless in the Star Wars world. However, Ian McDiarmid has been chosen to appear in the Mandoverse-era show, and that John and Dave want to bring him back for the second season of Ahsoka somehow, someway, as the older version of Palpatine. Now, once again, they want to bring Palpatine back in multiple formats, but they don't want the show to be a 100% focus on Sidious. They want the Mandoverse to expand its horizons. So we're going to be getting multiple villains. It's not just going to be about Palpatine, but it will feature Thrawn. We're going to be getting other villains in the equation in different timelines, but in the Mandoverse specifically, all this post-Return of the Jedi stuff, they want to focus on Thrawn and Palpatine to a degree, as well as other villains from Star Wars Legends. You know, there's even a lot of discussions between Favreau and Filoni about bringing in Prince Shizor from the Shadows of the Empire book. I don't know if you guys ever read that, but in there, it is a very special character in my opinion. I think one of the best characters in that particular point in time, alright? Because it's a very interesting one. So, looking at Sidious, you know, becoming a young clone and how they are going to be getting Bill Skarsgård in there. By the way, he played Pennywise the Clown from the It movies, so kind of makes sense why you would want somebody who plays a sinister character to play a role just like this. Now, if you guys ever want to see a young version of Palpatine, there is a lot of Dark Empire comic art out there that shows you what he actually looks like, and as a young version of himself, he really does have a very unique look, and I can see why they did not use Ian McDiarmid. He has a very unique design, and they're going to be modeling him, by the way, off of how he appears in the Dark Empire comics, except using Bill Skarsgård to actually put himself into that role. Now, the other thing that I think a lot of fans need to know about this is the fact that they are also going to be using a lot of abandoned Star Wars lore that George Lucas never got to use in Legends, and how that's going to be used for some of the stories to be told for Palpatine. So that's another great thing that they're trying to embrace right now in order to really kind of just give the fans something fresh and new, give the fans something fun to look forward to. And by bringing back Palpatine, I'm sure that some fans are going to be like, well, this is so overdone, why are they bringing back Sidious? Well, what they are doing is that they're giving us a completely different version of Palpatine, right? Where it's going to appear like a different character. He's going to be younger, he's going to sound a little bit different, he's going to act differently as well. You know, it's a brand new character in spirit, in a sense. So overall, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.